Hi, love relaxing, and today we're watching a video about Canopy Lake Park because I'm going to go to Canopy Lake Park. Might will. Top 15 rides at Canopy. That might be cool.
Mom, I need film.
Okay, but after that. Wait, Justin, no, you're gonna watch a video, I thought.
No.
But yes, in bed.
I am. Oh, look at Canopy.
Visiting the Salem, New Hampshire
This is the
amusement park
place
for almost
to
3 decades.
Video
This
from
national
Canopy
park
Lake
features a whopping
Park.
56 rides, including 4 roller coasters, a handful
4 roller coasters, only 4. Ah, down! The Kraken got me! The Kraken got me! Help!
that have removed over the years.
Drop it!
In this video,
Go, Emma.
Drop it!
Drop it. Get it. Just take it from around.
Drop me! Drop me right now! Drop it! Give me it. Drop it!
Just take it, Cam.
I don't want her to bite me over
She won't
it.
bite you. Just growl so that you'll move. She thinks that's getting in her way.
Alright, let's continue the video. This is from Canopy Culture.
now, my top 15 favorite rides and attractions currently at Canopy Lake Park. There are also 2 fun rides that would have made the list, so I will be sure to note where they would have placed as well.
Here.
Number 15, Canopy Corkscrew.
Canopy Corkscrew, I'm not going on that. Right.
Was also the park's first
Oh.
ride.
Oh my, oh no, I'm not going on that ride.
Indoor amusement park. The coaster is a great first ride.
I might go on it.
Where's the chair? Emma, get up.
Have some great pet shoppers with the nearby trees. But the coaster is both short and rather jerky, which holds it back. Number 14, Da Vinci's Dream.
Oh my god, that was horrifying. That is horrifying.
Statues
That is horrifying.
Is that the one you
rare models.
Yeah, that's Da Vinci's Dream.
It is more forceful than the others up there. You can really feel the blood rush to your feet at the bottoms of the dips.
I love that ride. I went on it on a school field. We went on that on a school field trip. We saw that one, right? We saw that on our field trip, Freddie? Yeah, we did. Oh yeah, we did.
Target audience.
Yeah, but we didn't go on it.
Ridiculously easy to spin. So you can get them rotating.
We're gonna go.
Force is so strong
Oh my
that
God.
you
Probably the
can
end of
yourself
July.
bending backwards over the seat if you happen to let go of the wheel. Number 12, the Extreme Frisbee.
The extreme. Oh
This
hell no.
Frisbee is often closed due to mechanical issues, but when it does operate, it's among the park's most popular flat rides. Unlike most Frisbees that focus on airtime, the Extreme Frisbee focuses more on dizzying spinning and delivers a very long ride cycle. Number 11, Wipeout.
Wipeout. That one was cool. I would want to go on that
It's a lot
ride.
of fun.
Yeah, maybe.
For the first 2/3 of the ride, Wipeout bobs up and down, delivering okay laterals, plus some neat pops of airtime. But the finale is where Wipeout really shines and shows its
Oh
power.
god.
The ride stops.
Okay, never mind. I'm gonna go on this
So
ride.
the laterals
Yeah, I don't
vicious.
know about this
The
ride.
ride used to run a far longer
I wanna
cycle in
go on
both
it.
directions, but Canopy now only operates Wipeout in one direction. Number 10, the Boston Tea.
Oh, I love this
This
ride.
Hawkins Shoot the Chute ride is the wettest ride in New England. The ride is simple but effective. The lift and turn deliver nice views of Canopy Lake, and then the climactic plunge is
We are
quite
so
zippy
on
due
this
to
ride.
the
Everyone's
heat.
going on this
And
ride.
the splashdown is visually stunning, both on and off ride. The splash is roughly 50 feet tall and trenches everyone in its path, both riders and onlookers. I don't ride this one too often because it's prudent to bring a change of clothes, but it's just what the doctor ordered on a hot day. And I also have a separate review going into more detail on
That
this
car doesn't
ride.
have any people in it.
Number 9, Canopy Lake Hotel. Yes, I am going to include haunts in this list.
Too bad we're
The
not
park's
going on
annual
Halloween. This
event
would be
has
cool.
2 that are worthy of
Cool.
making this list. The first is Canopy Lake Hotel. This walkthrough is themed to a haunted hotel with some good set pieces, several jump scares, and some interactive scare actors. The only downside is that it is on the short side. Number 8, Star Blaster.
Oh, I
This
hate
is the
these
park's
kind
best
of
double
rides.
shot drop tower.
Yeah,
This drop tower stands
you
just
really
80
poop
feet
your
and
pants on
24
that
meters
crazy
tall,
ride.
but it does pack a nice little punch. The ride's launches aren't very forceful, but you do get 2 good pops of airtime on the 2 ascents. The airtime was weaker in 2020 than in past years, so I'm hoping that was just not indicative of how the ride will run going forwards. Number 7, Psychodrome. This is the park's indoor scrambler. Not only does the
What's a
scrambler
scrambler?
run
Oh my
fast,
god!
resulting in some
That is
solid
cool.
laterals,
I want to go
but
on
it feels
that
like a
ride.
dance club
Right.
with the booming music and lighting.
Yeah, maybe
The ride no
not.
longer uses fog and smoke, but the visuals and sounds take an ordinary flat ride and make it stand out.
Pancakes or waffles?
Now this is where the first
Waffles,
track was placed.
It can make
Matterhorn. The park's
Matterhorn. Oh
I
my.
have pancake
Boston
mix,
Land.
but do you want
The
homemade
ride
waffles
operated
or?
from 9
Yeah, sure. Waffle.
But Kennedy ran the ride to
Sure.
ground how fast he operated it. Unlike most flying boss rides where you barely swing horizontal to the ground, Matterhorn swung well beyond horizontal. You swung out further
Oh
than most
my
overhead
God.
turns on roller
I wouldn't
coasters.
have gone
It felt like
on
you were
Matterhorn
hurt.
if it was
It
still
was
here.
insane. I'm showing pictures of a flying bobs ride I found at Oktoberfest, and that's the only one I've ever ridden that can match Matterhorn's intensity. IceJet now stands in Matterhorn's place, and while it is a similar
I like
type of ride,
IceJet.
it is operated at a much slower rate. Number 6, Untamed.
It was pretty
The
fast.
park's best steel roller coaster is the Stir Slider.
Oh my god!
The ride looks great with its bare
That is so cool.
ski lodge theme
Yeah, let's
station
go on
and
it.
first party painted supports.
I
But
don't know about
unfortunately,
that. What do
it is
you?
rather jerky,
Are you?
particularly on the cutbacks and transitions. However,
Are
I do
you
really enjoy
scared
this
you
coaster
can't
for the fantastic ejector airtime on beyond vertical drop and the
You
hang
can't
time
swing
gap
up.
vertical
No,
loop.
no. I
I
just
have a
don't want to
separate
go on
review
it
that goes into more
because maybe
detail on
it's too
Untamed
long
if
of a
you're
wait
interested
time.
in hearing my thoughts.
Okay,
Number
well,
5,
fine.
Mine of Lost Souls.
Oh, we went
This is
on
the
this
park's
one
Sally
last
Dark
year.
ride themed to a haunted mine. I love the atmosphere of the first
Right.
half,
Ready?
showcasing
Oh
the
yeah,
work
we
of
did
Mine.
go on this
But
one.
the second half is a bit scarier as you're being pursued by the Grim Reaper himself. The ride's effects are a tad dated, but the majority of them are statues or animatronics, which is good to see from a family park like can be. Number 4, Turkish Twist.
Turkish
This is
twist?
the park's most intense flat
Oh
ride.
my.
This is one of the few remaining
Oh
rollers in
my
North America,
god,
and
no.
this one was supplied
You're
by
not making me
SBC.
go on this ride.
And like the Matterhorn, Turkish Twist is run ridiculously fast,
That's it, the Turkish
spinning
twist.
riders at a whopping 33 RPM. The sustained G's are incredible as you're plastered to the
Oh
ground,
my.
and you see that crazy visual of the floor dropping out beneath you. The ride does run a very short cycle, but it's understandable and deliberate given the ride's intensity and propensity for causing guests to toss their cookies.
Hey Google, what's this song?
It's better in the sun because sand indoors is just a mess.
And propensity for causing guests to toss their cookies. Number 3, Carnivus. This is easily the park's
Oh,
best
I
haunt
love it.
and one of my favorites anywhere. Themed to an abandoned carnival, this haunt has a freaky atmosphere as you pass by chillingly silent carnival games. And there are plenty of scare actors too. Some genuinely try to scare you. Others engage in witty banter, and I sort of like that more than just trying to be scared. But the ride also includes some fun house-style elements that elevate the attraction, such as a long mirror maze, a claustrophobia room, and a vortex tunnel. And some of these elements also feature scare actors at the same time, which really catch you off guard. Number 2, the Yankee Cannonball.
I love the
You were
Yankee
probably
Cannonball.
expecting to see this ride at the top spot, and until 2016, it would have.
Yeah.
The ride was retracked by GCI in the 2015 and 2016 seasons, and while this did make the coaster smoother than ever, it's really hard to believe this ride is 90 years old.
Yeah.
The power of the airtime was reduced
I
significantly.
love this.
That being said, it's still a fun classic with some moderate pops of airtime if you're not of the front or back cars, and it's still the most popular ride of Canada among most guests. I have a separate review going into more detail before and after the retracking. And coming in at number 1 is the
Policy Paul and Log Flume. I love this ride. We love this ride. We're pretty good. It's the best ride in Canada. It is the best ride in Canada. The Policy Paul and Log Flume is definitely the first. Oh yeah, I remember the Policy Paul Log Flume when I went there in 1908. It was supposed to be a great attraction.
I have a separate review that
How
goes into more
old
detail.
are you? How old are you? You were alive in Kennedy Lake or something? Yeah.
Now, the Yankee Cannonball at its peak would have claimed the top spot in this list.
I'm like
There's
a
also
thousand
another
years
defunct
old.
attraction
How
that I
old
like
are you
better than
still
any
alive?
ride
I
in
don't
the
know.
movie. And that would be the infamous Equinox. The parts
What
came
is Equinox?
that rarely operated. The ride was installed late in the 2012 season, and it was removed after the 2014 season due to extensive mechanical issues. But I was blown away by Equinox the one time I was able to ride it. The ride was an intense, highly disorienting flat that flung me in every direction, all while you're in this weird standing floorless position. Canada really could use another enduring flat ride, as the Equinox is sorely missed. So those are my top 15 favorite rides and attractions.
Oh, I want to go on
Canada
this
Park.
one too.
What is your favorite ride at
Hey,
Canada?
Chef.
Or thoughts on this list?
Top 5 worst roller coasters.
Up to the knock, roller coasters bring me joy. They're fast, they're thrilling, and most importantly, fun. But every once in a while, I ride a coaster so bad that I have no intentions of ever riding it again.
Oh my god.
That may be
Yeah,
because it's
that's
boring,
funny. Yeah.
but usually it's because
Oh my
it's
god, what is
maybe it has
that?
to have restraints. Maybe it has poor track work.
A
Or
wooden
fall
ride.
into the elite
Ew.
category of
I don't
coasters
really like
that
wooden
provide
rides.
both.
That
This
much.
video will count down the top 25 worst roller coasters out of the 1,033 that I have written.
Well, they're not that
Before
bad.
starting,
I
I
don't
want to
really
note
like
that I
them.
will not be including any kiddie coasters unless they were extremely painful. There are 3 kiddie coasters that fall into that dubious category. I will also only list one version of a specific ride model. For example, I will only list one SLC and one boomerang. Otherwise, this list would probably have a dozen SLCs. I also want to note that you will not see any Zamperla Volares on this list because I actually enjoy those rides. I know I'm in the minority there, but they don't beat me up. And since the majority of these rides just flat out hurt, I'm going to include a pain meter to let you know what you will hurt if you ride any of these rides. Number 25, Alpine Flyer at Rowdy Bear Ridge. This is essentially an inverted mountain coaster crossed with an interactive shooting dart ride. And I think the ride system could work if it was placed indoors with some theming. However, being outdoors on an empty hillside with no theming does not work with this ride system. It was a rather boring ride, and the sun's glare made it near impossible to hit many of the targets. But this is one of the few rides on this list that does not hurt to its defense. Number 24, Mad Mouse at Fuji-Q Island.
Oh my
If you've ever been to Japan, you're probably aware that ride vehicles from Japanese manufacturers are extremely cramped. Mad Mouse falls into this category. But unlike most parks in Japan that have a very strict no loose articles policy, this ride requires you to bring all your bags with you. This resulted in an extremely tight fit for 2 adults riding in this car with our bags. Combine that with a persistent rattle, and it was a very uncomfortable ride experience. Number 23, Schweizer Bobbin at Europa Park. This ride looks great in the Switzerland area, but it had an extremely bad vibration. It's a common problem for a lot of the knock bobsleds if you ask me, but this one was the worst offender. It felt like I rode a shopping cart down a cobblestone road. Number 22, Sequoia Magic Loop at Gardaland. This ride is slow and awkward, and it's not hard to see why more of those S&S screaming squirrels were not built. The drops, if you can even call them that, are heavily braked and controlled, so you have no thrills. You just spend an uncomfortable amount of time suspended upside down as your shoulders bear all your body weight. Number 21, Vekoma boomerangs.
Oh my
with
god,
arrow
what
trains.
is
Most
that?
boomerangs are nowhere near this list, but
Oh,
the ones running arrow trains are worthy of this spot. These boomerangs track far worse than the ones with the Vekoma trains, and they're riddled with head banging. And because of how forceful the inversions are, it is an extremely nauseating experience, especially going backwards while you're getting head banging. Number 20, Wildcat at Lake Compounds. This wood coaster is nearly 100 years old, and the park decided to retract this classic ride a few years ago. And it replaced the old 3-bench PTC trains with Millennium Flyers. However, the coaster somehow got rougher. It has zero airtime, it never did. And it will rattle you into oblivion, which becomes especially uncomfortable if you're stapled by the unforgiving lap bar that wants to continuously lower during the ride. Number 19, Canyon Blaster at Great Escape.
oh,
The first half of this ride is slow and pointless. The second half has a decently fast double helix, but the dip in between levels is quite
oh,
rough.
that's so scary.
Especially because
Oh my god, I was weird for
your legs
it.
will smack against
Yeah,
the
because
bar
you're more than
times during the ride.
Oh,
Number 18, Carolina Gold Rush or Carolines. This ride may be small, but it has some really bad transitions. The entrance into the helix in particular is quite jarring even if you're bracing for it. Even if this ride were smooth, it would at best be equal to Trailblazer. It's not very fast and rather boring. Number 17, the Jungle Mouse at Hamanako Power.
oh, it hit her
I
hair
am
to the
convinced
ball.
this ride ran with square wheels. It is shocking how shaky this ride is. The one saving grace about this ride is that it travels so slowly that it can't inflict much pain upon riders. Number 16, Crazy Mouse at Hirokata Park.
This hurts too
This is supposed to be a Reverchon spinning mouse. I say supposed to because the spin was disabled in every single vehicle. This made the laterals in the second half, where you're supposed to be spinning normally, extremely uncomfortable because I kept banging into the curved side of the vehicle. I don't have any footage of this ride, so I'm showing some video footage of the version of Steel Pier that has the same issue in a few vehicles. Number 15, Fabry Power Mice. These spinning
It hurts
coasters
your
actually
balls
spin,
again.
but the lap bars in this one are awful. They sit rather high,
This is
so
kind
they
of like
jab you in the
Primeval
stomach on
World at
descents and
Disney.
abrupt breaks. Combine that with a poor layout, and you have a really bad coaster. Number 14, Olandis Volante at Rainbow Magic Land.
Oh,
Even
if your
in the old
balls
days of
and
Tacoma, they were
fine.
at least able to make quality mine trains. So it is absolutely baffling to me why this 2011 mine train is so rough. The trains are completely unpadded, hard plastic,
Oh my
which
god.
becomes an issue when you
That's
have a
so
lower rattle
annoying.
and some sudden brutal laterals.
I
It's a
like
shame
roller
because this mine
coasters.
train
Right.
actually looked
Oh my
great.
god.
Number
That's
13,
old.
Nightmare at Crack Axle Canyon at Great Escape. This was an indoor Schwarzkopf Jetstar. I enjoyed Tiger at Indiana Beach, but the one at Great Escape had a lot of issues. One, it was in brutal shape, so it was shakier than any other Schwarzkopf I have ever experienced. Two, the fact the ride was in darkness obscured the high speed, low to the ground turns, so it was exceedingly easy to smash your side against the train. Three, the building had no air conditioning or ventilation, so it was an absolute furnace in there hot.
Emma, down. Then the Kraken is on top. The Kraken's on top. Emma. Oh. Yeah. Watch the movie. I was just came up on the cup. Like. Oh, look, there's an ad. Hey, she lay down. That's a good puppy, Emma. Say hi to the viewer. Did he say how big your nose is? Oh my god, what is that new? We need to make a new Fortnite video because that's cool. There she goes.
So it was an absolute furnace in there hot days. Number 12, Goliath and Six Flags England.
Emma!
With the original trains, this ride would have been nowhere near this list. That's why none of the other giant bird boomerangs would come close to this spot. But with the premier trains of Six Flags New England added, Goliath became a torture device. The restraints are extremely bulky, so headbanging is inevitable. And during the high G segments, these restraints will staple your thighs. And then the final stop on the vertical lift will crush your groin. The first drop is still amazing, so this ride does have one redeeming value, but I dread everything that follows. Number 11, Apocalypse at Six
Oh,
Flags
there's your
America.
ball.
The floorless conversion to Firebird was a vast improvement if you ask me. In its old form, the original B&M stand-up was painful. The ride doesn't track particularly well, and that is an issue when you're in stand-up trains. The giant over-the-shoulder restraints will constantly bang against your head, and the bike seat can also deliver a few shots to your groin if it's positioned incorrectly. Number 10. King
Oh,
Kong
there's your
and
head. I've never
The
gone on
new
this
Como
ride.
suspension coasters are fantastic. They're smooth and have very open restraints. Kitty Hawk is an older version with flawed track work and bulky over-the-shoulder restraints. This results in countless shots to the head, which is surprising for a ride meant for children. Number 9, Range at Yesterland Farm.
Oh,
I have a
there's your
separate
ball.
review for this one,
Fine.
but this ride is so brutally rough that the park even admits it.
Yeah.
They have a
No,
staff
baby,
of
no.
riders
Oh,
that's a
wait.
rough ride.
Wait.
This ride looks like that,
We're
sounds
eating
like
breakfast
that,
while
and
watching
rides
this
like
video.
that.
Where do you want
It's
it?
extremely jerky in the turns, and the
Beside
trains
I'm gonna eat
are
some waffles,
completely
yeah.
made of metal with zero padding. So you have nothing to
You don't want
absorb
syrup
as
at
far
all,
as constant
Justin?
jackhammering and shimmying.
You want butter?
Orient
I want
Express
butter,
House
please.
Playland. I only rode this once when I was a kid, and I've avoided it ever since. This is a Wisdom Kiddie coaster that starts with a helix that will smash you against the
Oh
side of the
my.
train. That's followed by a bunny hill. That's actually fine. But the final, unbanked turn will violently slam you against the side of the vehicle. And you just keep going around and around in this one, getting more and more smacks each time. Number 7, Tiger Express at the Washington State Fair. There are so many things wrong with this kiddie coaster. First, if you're an adult, you have to get stable to ride. Second, the ride is unbelievably rough. I expected the drops and turns to be awful, but even the lift hill had violent bangs to it. I don't even know how Wisdom Rides managed to accomplish that. Third, this ride gave 13 laps. 13 freaking laps. 13 is a really unlucky number. Number 6, Chance Toboggans.
Oh
These
my.
rides start on a snooze fest with a repetitive, slow spiral down the tower, but it turns into a torture device on the drops. There are not many rides where I hope I don't get airtime, but this is one of them. Because of the extremely cramped vehicles, your head is likely going to be grazing against the ceiling. And when you get airtime, you will smash it into the ceiling. It hurts a lot. Number 5, Coast Rider at
Oh,
Osbury
it
Farm.
hurts your
There is
ankle.
no way a mock wild mouse should be anywhere near this list. But the park made a modification that ruins the ride. The park added shin guards. Unlike shin guards on the RMCs that contour around your shins, this is a flat bar that comes down with a restraint. So if you get stapled or guided, the shin guard will unforgivingly dig in your shin and it'll even leave a mark. The layout is otherwise smooth and rather slow for a mouse, but I could only focus on the pressure on my shins and the pain it was causing. Number 4, Rainier Rush at the Washington State Fair. Top Fun did not make many coasters, and it's not hard to see why. This ride is some of the worst trains in the world. They're extremely cramped, with hard, over-the-shoulder restraints that extend above your head. The ride
There's
also
3 of
has
them
poor
from the
track work,
Washington State Fair.
so
I
you're
don't
sure
think
to
we
hit
should
your
go
head at
there.
several points. But for good measure, the ride also manages to mess up this off-axis airtime now. This hill actually gives you good airtime, and that's the problem. Your knees are positioned right below this metal bar, so when you get airtime, your knee will snap hard into that metal bar, and it hurts. Number 3, Blue Tornado
Oh.
at Gardaland. This
That
is
does
easily
not
the
look
worst
good.
home SLC I have ever ridden. Almost every SLC tracks poorly, and Blue Tornado is no different. But at least most SLCs have the extremely cushioned over-the-shoulder restraints in an attempt to mitigate the concussive blasts. This one has hard over-the-shoulder restraints, so you're pretty much guaranteed to come off with a migraine because you're constantly hitting that hard restraint. Number 2, Harley Quinn Crazy Coaster at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. Almost everything RMC touches turns to gold. However, Skyline
I hate Harley
took
Quinn.
RMC's track and managed to create a rough and naughty coaster. Now, it is debatable if this counts as a coaster or not, but I want to consider it a coaster just so it can get the attention it deserves in this list. This
Quicker. Yes.
Harley Quinn is like a super loop, and the track as well as the back row each. When you mix in neck chopping transitions of the implement, or you're still vibrating on the ride reaches a special level of awfulness. I really hope Skyline can improve the track in their future models because it is absolutely horrific here. Coming in at number 1 is Coaster Express in Parkway 100. This coaster is awful. Every inch of RCCA track is imperfectly designed to inflict as much pain as possible on the riders. This ride is non-stop jackhammering, bouncing, and shaking. The intimate trains with the classic T-bar restraints don't help. Usually I love these restraints, but on a brutally rough wooden coaster, that metal bar in the center becomes a weapon. It will beat your legs mercilessly. I hate this ride, and it earns the top spot because of its roughness and bludgeoning. It is by far the longest ride in this list, with 4,574 feet, or 1,394 meters of track. If you want to hear me rant about this ride more, I have a separate review. So those are my top 25 least favorite roller coasters in the world. What is your least favorite roller coaster? I would love to hear down in the comments.
Alright. So everyone, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys like, make sure you guys subscribe, and bye.